fortress, the walls that we build up around ourselves, the locks, the keys, the cries for help, reminiscing of a time when your words weren't felt, lying in the dark, playing with yourself, flick, flick, a shimmer of light as the bit clicks. Now we're fortified by the witness. She's been here the whole time and we in this to the day we die. Did I choose this? Were we chosen? Did I lose it? Am I broken, frozen, stiff and bloody, bound to the booze, locked in a rocket that is flying to the moon? And she calls to you, the devil on your shoulder, don't be confused. She speaks your native tongue and she plays the tunes that warp your perception, invokes the blues to make you fall back and make you forget the ones that you came from, the ones that you left, lying all alone with no chance to repent. Aware of the devastation and the debt from sins and soulless deeds, jumping off of slave ships into the sea, begging for a God to come set them free from the chains and the whips of humanity. Yeah. And I see all of them hungry ghosts trying to feed, cause there's nowhere to go. So I plead to all of the gods I know that the maps of our hearts will soon be known. I see all of them hungry ghosts trying to feed, cause there's nowhere to go. So I plead to all of the gods I know that the maps of our hearts will soon be known. Health, wellness, now they're given. Seasons change, we gotta listen. Seasons of pain, seasons of love, seasons of hope that we wish to sustain. And it rains like in the good old days when the monsters were hiding and we couldn't be fazed by malaise. The minute minute emotions coming in and they do what they do, then they move on through like the salty sea. Answers to my prayers washing over me, taking all the dirt, all the little bitty hurt, all the things that I hold that are trying to be free. And I see when I look back that I was born black. Then they told me, you better step back, cause the stuff whack and it's ugly. So I held fast on the wrong track, felt my heartbeat and all the subtlety that they can't have it, but they don't want it, and they can't see it, so they don't own it. Can't have it, don't want it, can't see it, don't own it, but the truth never dies. Living in the lava flow, she's in disguise, scorching up the earth in a bright red skirt. And we look at each other and we act surprised, but it's our demise that we must face. All this darkness and that we can alleviate through the force of our minds and our power to create. Through the force of our minds and our power to create. And I see all of them hungry ghosts trying to feed, cause there's nowhere to go. So I plead to all of the gods I know that the maps of our hearts will soon be known. I see all of them hungry ghosts trying to feed, cause there's nowhere to go. So I plead to all of the gods I know that the maps of our hearts will soon be known. Thank you.
Thank you. That is Mac Nova throwing it down with some original stuff. You want to check her out. You want to check her out. This is a rising star. And I'm proud to say that she's right here in Santa Cruz with me. Good morning. And whatever time of day it is for you, whenever it is that you're tuning into this, I am Reverend Deborah Johnson. This is Inner Light Ministries. Just breathe it in. We are here. We are alive. We are awake. And we're going to stay woke. We're going to stay woke. Because we are truly here for such a time as this. I want to say thank you to everybody who's tuning in, regardless of where you are. There's only one of us here. Thank you for bringing us into your homes, into your bedrooms, and if you're here into the sanctuary, thank you for being here. Wherever we are, it is our sanctuary because we are always standing on holy ground because we are spiritual beings. Let's just breathe that in for a moment. We come here to transcend. We come here to spark and to inspire and to remember the hope. 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 To keep our hearts open, to stay in possibility consciousness, and continue to be engaged. Heart open, possibility, and engagement. That's the raw stuff of what we're talking about this month. This month with the theme being fortitude. Fortitude. You know, every month we have a spiritual theme. We've been doing this for 25 years now. A theme. And the theme is always a spiritual quality. It's a spiritual quality. It's not something to chase after or try to obtain. It's part of our very essence, which we have to learn more how to reveal. To reveal. We are it. We are verbs. We're verbs. And all of the spiritual qualities that we always talk about, love or power or peace or balance or fortitude today, I don't care what the dictionary says, they're verbs in the sense that they are activity in motion. We are energetic, vibratory frequencies. Life is not happening to us. It's not happening as us. It is happening through us. But most especially, it's happening as us. So we come here to remember, to put it back all together again, to decolonize our minds. We come here to go back to our most indigenous self that lives in oneness. Oneness with each other, oneness with the planet, oneness with the divine, because we understand the sacred interdependence of everything. There's really only one of us here taking different shapes and forms. Just breathe that in for a moment. There's not different kinds of life. There's just life. There's life in the redwood and life in the weed, and that's not a difference in the Chihuahua or the German Shepherd or in you or in me. There's just life. There's just life. And we hold that sacred tension between the oneness of all things and how then expresses in diversity. It's just the most amazing thing. That the only thing that there ever is that animates everything never does the same thing exactly twice. Even your baby fingerprint has its own imprint. Isn't that extraordinary? We're all of it. We're unique, individualized expression. We're part of varieties of different kinds of diversities. And transcendent of all of that, we're just sons and daughters of the Most High, in which none of that stuff matters anyway. This beautiful, sacred tension of it all. I'm reminded, God, I want to quote the right person. I can't remember, but it's coming to my head now. But it was this quote when I was in college of one of the leading black feminists at the time. And it was so paradoxical. And she says, if you want to be my friend, just like forget I'm black. But never forget I'm black. This kind of sacred tension between it all. We provide tools for living. We don't just mouth off a bunch of stuff. We really try to help us grow into being whatever it is that we need to be. So we give you tools. They can be anything. They can be prayers. They can be thoughts. They can be practices. They can be teachings. They can be classes. They can be songs. All these different kinds of things. They're not random. We're not just here to entertain you. Every single thing is purposeful and it's intentional. So these activations that we give you, these affirmations every single week, they're not just about this week. They're thematic in alignment with the week. But I invite you to take them, to say them, to listen to them, to embody them, to repeat them. Because when you say them repeatedly, you start to resonate with their frequency. We are activity in motion. We're not trying to fix ourselves. We're about healing. We're about transforming. We are about recalibrating. Recalibrating. We're energetic beings. It's like our frequencies get off. Kind of like a guitar. If you see a guitarist who's playing, I used to play the guitar, they're constantly tuning it, even in the middle of the show, because the stresses and the strains of life pull on it, and you got to bring it back. You got to bring it back. So we're like that. We're like really fine instruments that continuously need to be retuned. So there's this little device that's called like a pitch tune or pitchfork, something, where it has the perfect pitch. And it guides you so you can tune your instruments so that it matches that frequency. That's what these affirmations are. These affirmations are like a tuning fork for your heart. And if you will listen to them and align with them, then you recalibrate up to the frequency that's in greater alignment with the truth of our divinity. So if you're in-house, the affirmations are going to be on the back of your good news bulletin, and if you're online, they're going to be showing up on your screen. And I want to invite you to read the affirmations along with me. Our topic this week is our buoyant heart. And if you're in the room, I want to invite you to stand, and we're all going to say these together, even online. By nature, we are resilient, bouncing back from hardships. We face difficulties with quiet resolve. Our strength is continuously renewed. We are blessed at every turn, grateful beyond measure. Every trial is a triumph in the making. Every test is a testimony. Tribulations don't concern me, as I am free in the Spirit. We rejoice in the buoyancy of the human heart. We celebrate our capacity to overcome, our propensity to rise above. Surely, goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives. We have so much more to be grateful than to be sorry for. Let's breathe that in. So much more to be grateful than to be sorry for. That's a line from Jamie Lula's song. And I'm pleased to say he's going to be our musical inspiration with us at the end of the month out of Los Angeles. Our buoyant heart is our topic today. And I am going to invite Mac Nova to come on back up and give us another one of your renditions. And before we close out at the end, please let people know about your projects and what you're working on. Okay.
Speaking of buoyancy, the song is about acknowledging darkness and letting it guide you back home to your heart. It's perfect timing. I've prayed, I've spoken to Jesus and danced with most of my demons. But this darkness had other plans. She wouldn't leave without demand. Said open up your heart and face me like a woman. Tell me why you're sad and know that you're cooking. Deep inside my oven, I got plans for you. When the stars line up and the world renews, you will come bursting out of that hot cocoon with the new eyes that I gave you and a way to move all the darkness that's inside that you can't refuse. Darkness is in my bones. She won't leave me alone. She's wanting, guiding me, showing me the way home. Try as I might, I can't seem to align with the light. Lime green limousine on the scene with my 9 friends, calling it a crime. It's a double homicide. Dreams, demons in the night. I love that REM, and I am losing my religion tonight. Dr. Jekyll in my prime, never hide. The violence, the urges like primitive purges, discordant disturbance of mind. Primordial burden, throw ice in my bourbon, incursion, this blurring of sights. Left brain, right brain, pull the curtain aside. It's Romeo about to make his final aside. I'm Juliet, I'm like Mr. I don't wanna die. I should've dated women when I had the breath of life. Yes, I Mr. Shakespeare, wrote my fate in lullaby. Like a housewife, ready with the dinner at 5, fried chicken, mashed potato on the side, poison him with a pinch of cyanide. Darkness is in my bones. Yeah, she won't leave me alone. She's wanting, I try to get away, guiding me, showing me the way home. Darkness, I try to run, I try to hide, but I can't find the light. Wanting, it's guiding me and showing me the way home. Darkness, I try to run, I try to hide, but I can't find the light. Wanting, it's guiding me and showing me the way home. Darkness, 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 dark.
Woo! Thank you, Mac Nova. Just breathe that in for a moment. And in her light, we embody spiritual oneness. We appreciate individualized expression, and we honor all paths that lead to truth and justice and sustainability. And each and every one of us has her own way of connecting with the divine. And I want to encourage you to get there in your own authenticity, like whatever that is. part of what I love about Inner Light is that we always bring in different kinds of musical genres. So it's not just to have musical variety, but it is to honor the fact that you get there however it is that you get there. So somebody might be country western, somebody might be blues, somebody might be hip hop. It's all there. And one of the things that I'm always teaching my students to do is to see the truth wherever it is. Just because everything's not always packaged the way that you would want it to be packaged, don't lose the message. I know sometimes when I'm listening to spiritual traditions that are very different than mine, and they're using language that it's like, that's not exactly how I see it. I've disciplined myself now to hear it all the way through and tune into what is the spirit of it. Because if you tune into what is the spirit of it, you'll find that there's so much out there that is a blessing to us. We're here talking about fortitude this month. And my topic today is specifically about our buoyant heart. As I was preparing for this, I went to my spiritual definitions. And the spirit definitions always come in a formula. They describe the spiritual qualities as the essence of who we are, and it gives a roadmap of what it is that we have to do in order to experience the truth of that spiritual quality as our very nature. And the formula is always specific. It speaks of this experience that we need to have to unleash this quality within us so that we can live it and breathe it and recognize it as a convergence of energy. That there's something that we have, or some way that we're being in the world, that has to engage and interact in some kind of way with the divine. The divine in some kind of way we're missing. And when this thing that we already have does this interaction with what's already here, then suddenly we can be it. And it describes fortitude, said, is where your tenacity reflects my steadfastness. That fortitude is where your tenacity reflects my steadfastness. And I thought about that word reflect. And what does that really mean? When something reflects, it mirrors it. It looks like it. When something really reflects something, when you're looking at it, you're not just looking at it. You're also looking at the thing that it's reflecting, so that it's like an optical illusion where you can't even tell where one is and the other one stops. It's that close of a mirroring. It's where your tenacity is reflecting my steadfastness. So I was looking up that word, like tenacity, and what really does that mean? And I was getting this image, and it being an image of the buoyancy, which I'll get to in a second. But the question that I asked myself, because it just came up for me, was what is the difference between stubbornness and tenacity? Okay? Because I've had a lot of both in my life, but just really, what was that difference between stubbornness and tenacity, being very tenacious about something? And the answer I got back very quickly was that stubbornness is when you are stuck in your own ego. That's when you're stubborn. When you're tenacious, you're following an inner guidance that's higher. When you're tenacious, you're tuned into something that's guiding you, that's directing you, that's telling you not to give up. And here's the difference, is that there's a different reward. The reward for tenaciousness is blessing. The reward for stubbornness is a mess. One gets you one place, and one gets you the other place. With the stubbornness, there's that sense of the polarization. Okay? There's the divide, there's the line, there's the you, there's the me. In my book, The Sacred Yes, those spirit letters, in the letter Conflict Resolution, it says very explicitly that differences don't cause conflict. Differences in and of themselves have never caused conflict. It's the polarization around the difference that causes the conflict. It's that othering, not the difference. Check it out. The conflict isn't the difference. The conflict is the polarization. And as we are in our social political times, I can't say that enough. We keep worrying about how can we overcome the differences. That's not the problem. The problem isn't how are we going to overcome these political differences, is how are we going to overcome our polarization. See? You got to overcome the polarization first. We think it's the other way around. Like, well, when we can handle all these differences, then we won't be so opposed. Oh, no, 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 no. You have to stop the polarization first. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be mamby-pamby and that you can't hold on to your values. It's when you do this line in the sand thing, when you do this deep othering, that's the stubbornness. That's the stubbornness. See, but the tenaciousness is just the other. The tenacity is just the other. When you're being very tenacious about something, you aren't drawing lines in the sand. It's quite the contrary. You're saying, I don't care what line there is. Ain't no line getting in my way. That I don't even have time for this who's right, who's wrong, who did what box am I supposed to fit in? No. When I have the tenacity about something, I'm going to jump over the hurdles. I'm going to jump over the hoops. I'm going to go above, around, beyond. I'm not stuck in any one spot and saying everything or everybody's got to adjust to me. Not when you've got the tenacity. See, when you have that tenacity and you have this fortitude, the spiritual fortitude, there is something that's clicking into that hope that I talked about in the beginning. In this place of fortitude, you never lose hope because your heart is open, you're in possibility consciousness, and you stay engaged. You stay engaged. That there is nothing that anybody can do that will make you disengaged. It's like that old saying about hate is like drinking a gallon of poison and then praying the other person's going to die. No, it impacts you. It impacts you. So I would like to reframe this a little bit. This image that I said that I started to get this morning about the buoyant heart. Have you ever been in a swimming pool or a body of water, the ocean or a lake or something like that, with a ball and tried to sink the ball or any kind of floating object, like try to sink that? You can't. You can't. It keeps wobbling and it keeps popping back up, and you try to push it down and it keeps popping back up. Well, our human heart is like that thing that can't get sunk. Listen to what I'm saying. Our natural heart capacity is that buoyant thing. People can try to suppress it down, but we have this capacity to have it keep popping back up. So the buoyancy of our heart is kind of like being a buoy or a life raft where we can lift each other up. You see somebody drowning in the water, you throw them something. You throw them something that has some buoyancy so that they can hold on to it. It may not get them out the water, but it's going to keep them alive and it's going to keep them from drowning. Our heart's like that. When we're able to throw our heart out, when we're able to throw out compassion and empathy and caring and support, it keeps people from drowning. It keeps us all up. And it keeps us all alive. That's what it does. In the affirmations, it talks about every test is a testimony. That our trials and our tribulations are triumphs in the making. You get the fortitude of having conviction. Con with viction, victory. It's with the victory. With the victory. You got to go through some stuff. Listen to what I'm saying. Don't get upset about all the trials and the tests and the tribulations that come to your life, because they are there to make you strong. They build your character. They build your spiritual muscle. You don't have muscle unless you lift some weights. So life becomes like a big gymnasium to us. And I guarantee you that it is directly proportional. You know that old saying about no risk, no reward. It's just like that. The greater the risk that you're willing to take in your heart space, the greater the reward. So the safer that you want to play it, that's fine, but you don't get to experience all the joy. You don't get to experience all the forgiveness. You don't get to experience the expansion of your capacity. We all know this. At some level, we all know this. People who are too afraid of getting hurt, even just in romantic relationships, are too afraid of getting hurt to love. Guess what? They shut down. It decreases their own capacity to not only receive love, but to give love. When you are in that flow, and you are in that flow of love, you don't fixate on just particular relationships. Because you know that that relationship is an expression of love, but it is not the totality of love. So if for some reason that relationship is not there anymore, whatever. People move, they die. Stuff happens. But what you know is that your heart can keep loving. That you have a resilience. That just because it can't happen that way doesn't mean it won't happen another way. This is how our life is. We're walking down the path. Something blocks that. Okay, so it's not that house anymore. It's not that job. It's not that spiritual community. It's not that mate. It's not this whatever. But if it's not that, it will be another. Because we're buoyant. We are resilient. There's always another way. There's always another way. Let that sink in for a moment. So when stuff comes at me now, I'm not worried so much about how big the test appears to me in front of me. I'm already looking at the reward. I'm already, well, dang. Woo! There's something up in here. But what I know is that on the other side of this, you ain't going to be able to tell me nothing. When I work my way through this, I'm going to have a whole other level of faith and conviction. So I'm looking forward to it. Listen to what I'm saying. We don't necessarily want the dramas. No, we don't necessarily want that. But there's something that's on the other side. So we get at cross purposes with ourselves. We talk about, I want to be strong. I want to have faith. I want to have the fortitude. And then I get mad at the stuff that helps me create that. We're at this cross purposes with ourselves. We're like the baby chicks in the eggs. They have to break out of their own shell. You can't help them out. Because breaking out of their shell is what they need to do to have the strength to keep walking around in the world. That's how it is with us. We need to keep breaking through stuff so that we have the strength to do the next. We need to keep overcoming. We need to keep uprising. See, the fortitude is the repetitiveness. The fortitude is the coming back. We need fortitude in our democracy right now. We need buoyancy. We don't need to get stuck in what everybody else is doing and make us sink. No. When you have fortitude, you keep keeping on. Listen to what I'm saying. You keep keeping on. Excuse me, but there are a lot of people who've been trying to get in. Can you pay attention to them? Thank you. You keep keeping on. Okay? It doesn't matter what they're doing. It's what are you doing? What are you doing? I can't say that enough. I know growing up, my mother was always trying to tell me, why do you keep paying attention to what your brother's doing? You know, whatever. Clean your room. Well, Raymond didn't clean up his room. You know, do that. Well, he didn't do, and he didn't, and what she was trying to tell me, what I realize now is that, why do you want to be at a race down to his level? I'm trying to call you up to something else. So why are you arguing for mediocrity? Why do you want to fight to not be the all that you can be just because that's what they're being? That's how it is with us right now. This place of fortitude that we have to have is where we keep believing. If you have anything that lasts, a marriage, a business, a sports team, a spiritual community, a nation, it's because you overcame adversity. Listen to what I'm saying. If you're a good sports player, that's part of winning the game. Winning the game is that no matter what it is that's coming at you, you're going to keep your A game. You're going to keep showing up. You're not going to throw in the towel. No matter how bad it is down in the ninth inning at the last of the fourth quarter, you won't throw in the towel. You're going to keep rising up because you believe. That's what we have to do right now. We have to keep rising up because we believe. If this democracy goes down, it won't go down just because of the people who are whittling away at it. It'll go down because the ones who say that they really want the democracy aren't standing up in their fortitude, sinking down to the level of the destructiveness and the divisiveness. We're on a slippery slope, and we don't have too much more slope to slip. I am not playing. You really want this democracy? You got to find some love in your heart. And I mean it. I mean some love for everybody. To really want this to be one nation. Now, my social media may blow up when I say this. For the first time in my life, I actually gave some money to a Republican for office. And I probably shouldn't say this here, but I am making a point. I actually gave some money for Liz Cheney's fight. Politically, we are on opposite ends in terms of how we feel about policies. But she is standing up for democracy. She is standing up for democracy in a way that is really paying a price. And you reward your allies. I don't want just one party. I think we need a lot of parties, personally. But we got to have at least two that really work and that are really, really engaged. That's the tenacity that doesn't get stuck in the divisiveness and the opposition and the polarization. And then part of me is like, are you kidding me? You're going to do this? And that voice saying, yes, yes. Because all of us have to support the truth wherever the truth is. And that means supporting each other who are supporting the truth if we're going to have the fortitude and make this thing work. So wherever it is that you are, if there's shenanigans that are going on, don't get the blind eye. I'm hearing so many people getting worn down. Oh, I'm just so tired of all this stuff. Oh, I just can't even look at this stuff anymore. Oh, I've just tuned it out. I don't. That's the goal. The goal is to wear you out so much that you cave in. That you stop looking. That you stop paying attention. Have the fortitude. Keep taking the action. And I am particularly calling up Californians right now. Day after tomorrow, September the 14th, 2021, there is an election. There is an election. And what I am not saying now is partisan. It has nothing to do with partisan. It has to do with process. Vote. It's just that simple. Vote. If you have not already turned in your ballot, if you forgot your ballot, then you need to find your polling place and you need to show up on Tuesday. It'll be the quickest vote you've ever done in your life. One thing, no. That's it. Seal it up, put it away. It'll be the fastest vote of your life, regardless of your political party, regardless of whether you think Gavin Newsom should be recalled or not. Vote no. Vote no for our democracy. And I'm going to briefly explain to you why. We have an election next year. You don't want Gavin Newsom? Fine. Then get another governor. But get him the right way. Get him the fair way. November next year, this is September, November next year, we're choosing another governor. No matter what happens with this recall election, we're still choosing another governor in a year. Why would you even want somebody coming in for like a year in the middle of stuff and like throw everything off balance? Why? Why? Really? Because there's no accusations, there's no crime, there's nothing that's been committed. Like, why even destabilize something like that? Two, California's so unusual here. It isn't like there's a contester. No, there are 46 people running against him. If the recall happens, if people vote yes, there's 46 people. That means somebody could be governor of California with 8% of the vote or 10% of the vote. That's not a mandate. This state would be the 5th wealthiest nation on the planet. We're not a single issue anything. The big issues are here. From climate change to immigration and human, on up and down. The economy, oh my God, we'll be the 5th wealthiest. You need somebody vetted. You need somebody who knows what they're doing. If you want to make a change, make a thoughtful change. Not this. This isn't the way to do it. There needs to be a no vote that says, cut it out. Cut it out. You can't challenge our ballots like they're doing in all of these other states. So this is the avenue to try to disrupt in California. No. No. I'm not saying you got to be mad. I'm not saying you got to be angry. I'm not saying you got to be up against anything. I'm saying have the fortitude. Vote. Vote. People have died for this right. And it's the last thing we have. And even that's trying to be dismantled. And in a democracy, if you can't hold the line at vote, it's over. We have the chance. And it's now. And it's in our courts. And we can do this. We can do this. Don't get stuck in partisanship. Don't get stuck in that. We all need to be moving in a certain direction. Pay more attention to the direction that people are moving in. And who can get there with you? Who can we align with? Who can we build bridges with? Who can we be in collaboration with? Who can we work with? That's how we move forward. That's how we move forward. The buoyancy of our heart. Let's pray. Let's just pray on that for a moment. As we turn within. As we turn within, we yield, we surrender. We yield and we surrender. We open up wide. Not our will, but thine be done. Not our will, but thine be done. So we pray in this moment for guidance. We pray for direction. We say yes. At the deepest, 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 deepest level of our being, we say yes. Right here and right now. We yield. We yield. Then in this yielding, we're praying the prayer of sufficiency. We're praying the prayer of enoughness. There's enough to go around. There's enough goodness. There's enough joy. There's enough time. There's enough balance. There's enough joy. There's enough sufficiency. There is enough. And we call it forth. We live it. We breathe it. We are it. Create in us a clean heart, oh God. Create in us a clean heart and renew a right spirit within us. And so it is. And so it is. Amen. We just breathe that in. We are praying community here. We pray for all the prayer requests that come in, and I'm going to invite Donna Starr to come up and tell you about how you can submit prayer requests and to let you know about some of the things that are going on in her life.
Good morning. Yeah, we do pray here, and it is available for everybody all the time, 24/7, 365. We've got prayer practitioners that are available through email. You can reach a prayer practitioner on the phone. That information is showing up on your screen right now, and if you're here in the house, we've got a good news, and that information is printed up here as well. There should never be an opportunity or that goes by that you feel like you need spiritual connection and not get it. It is available to you. And our prayer practitioners are trained for 2 years to be able to meet you where you're at, remind you who you are, and what it is that you can be and do and have in the world. So take advantage of that. Also, we have on your good news, and it should be flashing across your screen, ways for you to donate, to participate in the financial flow of your spiritual community and of the world. And it's really simple. You can text to give. You can go to our website. There's a donate button there. On the good news, we have a little QR code that you can use, and with your phone, just scan that, and it'll take you right to a place where you can make a little donation. And just know that as you give, you receive, that we are just part of the continuing flow of energy. Money is a form of energy. We're a form of energy. It's all spirit. It's all God. It's all good. And it keeps everything going. So we don't want to be financially constipated. We want to make it continue to flow through. So also, just want to let you know that we do have a workshop that's coming up. We're accepting registrations for the Cultivating the Consciousness of Inclusion workshop with Reverend Deborah. It is a 5 weeks workshop. It's on Wednesday night starting on October 20th. And there may be some discount codes available for you. You go ahead and go to Facebook, go to our website, take a look at our events pages. There are announcements there. We'd love it if you would go to YouTube, subscribe to our channel. There's lots and lots of information available there, videos, services, and of our musicians, and it's all available. We'd also love it if you would like us on and follow us on Instagram. So we want to thank you for being here with us today.
Tell them they can still sign up for the first one if they want to.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So there's currently going on the Unmasking Privilege, the Art of Sharing Power workshop is happening now. We had our first class last Wednesday. You can still sign up for that. And if you sign up for both of them, you get a 10% discount. So you're going to save some money there. And that is also meeting on Wednesdays for, well, the next 4 weeks. Thank you.
Hey everybody, this is my last song of the day. It's called Butterfly with Fangs, and I'm so excited. It feels really in alignment with what the Rev was saying, so here we go. Sure. The song Butterfly with Fangs is available on all digital streaming platforms. It's my newest release. I am getting ready to release an album in January of next year, which I'm really excited about, putting a lot of love and energy into. And the best way to know about what I'm up to and where I'm going to be is through Instagram. I'm at MacNova_music. And there's links to my website, and I'm very active on there. So if you want to stay connected, that would be the best way. Thank you. Yeah, so Butterfly with Fangs, for me, it's been a journey of realizing that there's a lot of strength in being vulnerable. So here we go. Brushing my teeth, feeling the rhythm of the city, not knowing it's me. Finding my feet on the patio rooftop. Vitamin D, Ultra V, that's me, make the melanin pop. Climbing the tree, fist to the sky, in the midst of the protest march. No, this flow won't stop. O-U-T, the block. Hope you call the cops. Break the stasis, 911, just face it, we calling you out. Butterfly with bangs, heaven into blaze. Ain't nothing to mess with, Wu-Tang in my veins. Yeah, make the melanin pop, ayy. Make the melanin pop, woo. Make the melanin pop, ayy. Make the melanin pop, woo. Butterfly with bangs, heaven into blaze. Ain't nothing to mess with, Wu-Tang in my veins. Yeah, make the melanin pop, make the melanin pop, hey. Make the melanin pop, woo. Make the melanin pop. Break through the glass, cameraman in back. Catch him in the act, put him on blast. War man in black with my heart intact. Black mirror sustains these perpetual cracks. Reflection is trash, just like sunshine. Hey, hey, hey. Pop, pop, blow, blow that black whistle. Whittle them down. Whistleblower covertly overturn them right in their tracks. It's a broken down coaster. I'm a magnifying glass in this fire is focused. The tides are turning. It's time to open up your mouth. The city's burning. And I'm the furnace, Nat Turner on the sermon. I seen the mountaintop. It's a burden, yeah, we angry, but we learning, eh? The tides are turning, It's time to open up your mouth, the city's burning. And I'm the furnace, Nat Turner on the sermon. I seen the mountaintop. It's a burden, yeah, we angry, but we learning. Woo. You feeling that? I'm feeling it. It feels so good. Butterfly with bangs, heaven into blaze. Ain't nothing to mess with, Wu-Tang in my veins. Yeah, make the melanin pop, make the melanin pop, ayy. Make the melanin pop, woo. Make the melanin pop, woo. Butterfly with bangs, heaven into blaze. Ain't nothing to mess with, Wu-Tang in my veins. Yeah, make the melanin pop, woo. Make the melanin pop, yeah. Make the melanin pop, woo. Make the melanin pop. Thank you so much for having me. Inner Light. So grateful to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rev.
Amen, amen. Woo! And we thank you, Mac Nova. If you are interested in studying with me with the Sacred Yes letters and all those downloads, I actually have a new workshop that's starting this coming Thursday on September the 16th. And you can find out information about that at my website, DeborahLJohnson.org, DeborahLJohnson.org, and it'll also be on the social media. If you are looking real time, you might want to be in an after party. We've got a Zoom after party going on, and there will be links that are right there. There are people who have also been watching, and it gives them a chance to do a little bit of fellowship. And for people who are in the Santa Cruz area, we are officially open until COVID calms down a little bit. We are officially open on first and third Sundays. On the second Sundays and fourth Sundays, we're still broadcasting from here, but we aren't always open. And when we're open, we do fellowship. So we don't want people in the virtual world to not have that fellowship, because that's an important time to connect. You even have a chance to be in breakout groups and have individual, conversations with one another. So vote. If you're in California, vote, vote, vote. And we'll see you next time. Peace and blessings to you. Namaste. And we always say in Inner Light, take this consciousness and multiply it. So it is.